Dr. Mujpizada, how do you see this announcement by Prime Minister Imran Khan that we'll be releasing the Indian Air Force commander? On Twitter, it's being hailed as a great step by the Pakistani Prime Minister.
Shahzad, to understand why the Prime Minister has taken the step of releasing the wing commander AbhiNandan today, we have to understand the kind of climate that is being built in India. If you watch the Indian television and if you read the Indian newspapers and if you scan through the Indian Twitterati handles, you see that the Prime Minister Narendra Modi has gone into a very difficult situation. As of yesterday, 21 Indian opposition parties have categorically taken the position that ever since Pulwama, Narendra Modi and his party BJP have been playing politics with national security and the sacrifices of the soldiers' life. And if you look at the serious analysis that is published by two Indian academics in The Diplomat, one of them is a professor at Jawaharlal Nehru University, another one heads a think tank, both of them are professors. And they have analyzed that Modi has very difficult options, both in terms of escalation and in terms of de-escalation. If he escalates, which is a strong need because they think that the way the whole thing happened on Wednesday, the Indian side looks very bad. Indian side has suddenly started to look weak, and whatever position of strength and balance of power existed in South Asia, that has been disturbed in Pakistan's favor. Whereas by the end of the Monday night, it looked as if India had actually improved the balance of power in its own favor, and Pakistan looked very bad. It looked as if Pakistan is like Gaza Strip, where Indian planes can come and bomb at will and can leave, and this was the paradigm which they wanted to establish. But by the end of the Tuesday, it looked as if the Pakistan was prepared to escalate, had the guts and the courage to escalate, and India was actually wavering. So the Indian Prime Minister would not like to de-escalate, but the problem is if he escalates, if he doesn't score any victories in terms of escalation, then he is worse off. So he is politically in a very bad situation, right? This is one thing. So he had tremendous internal pressure from his party and from his own self, for his own self-interest to escalate. At the same time, there were voices around him that wanted to de-escalate, right? So by the late evening, the Pakistanis realized that Indian service chiefs were given full authority to take measures on the ground, but the air chief, the service chief, and the air chief, the naval chief, and the ground forces. And then the Pakistani intelligence had reason to believe that they might actually be using BrahMos missiles in the middle of the night against Pakistani targets. So Pakistanis immediately conveyed that information to P5 countries, including United States. And you have seen President Trump's very vocal statement this morning. Now, I have reason to believe this thing, that United States intervened and started getting engaged on both sides. And the release of AbhiNandan has happened on the request of the American side to help ease the internal domestic pressure within United States, within India. So this is more or less the picture we can actually paint at the moment. That is why that we have released him, so that it eases the pressure inside the Indian political system and on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And I think any time there might actually be a talk between Prime Minister Imran Khan and Prime Minister Narendra Modi.